Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about circadian rhythms and how they are linked to getting optimal sleep. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lachlan Dunn, holistic health coach and personal trainer, helping busy professionals to feel extraordinary, both physically and emotionally, by treating the root cause of their sleep and health issues without medication. So we're going to be talking about circadian rhythms, one of my favorite things to talk about because it is so important and one of the bedrock foundational principles that I believe 95% of the population is disconnected from, thus leading to poor sleep, cardiovascular disease, even cancer, all the common diseases, illnesses, and symptoms that are arising and manifesting in your life are very much linked to a disrupted and out of sync circadian rhythm. What is your circadian rhythm? So let's break down the words circa and dian. So circa means around, dian means the clock. So it's around the clock. So it's it's about 25 hours in a day that we live in sync with. So day and night cycles. So this mechanism has been hardwired into your system for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, animals have one, and even plants have it. So you could pretty much say that this mechanism has been hardwired into nature for millions of years. So it's something that, one, we cannot cheat, and two, it's something that we just simply need to reconnect with. So it's external cues like light, food, and temperature that are going to either switch on or off the certain clocks in your body. So you have over 300 plus internal circadian clocks in your body. First off, this is how it basically works. So let's take the first external cue, which is light. Light goes through the eyes and it goes into the hypothalamus, which is a part of the brain that's towards the prefrontal cortex, just behind the eyes, kind of in the middle of your head. And in there is a tiny gland, yet it has the biggest name. It's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And this suprachiasmatic nucleus gland is the master clock. So it's the clock that communicates to the other 300 plus internal clocks in your body, like your metabolism, when your liver's most active, when your digestion is going to be, releasing enzymes and gastric juices, and it has specific times when it's activated. Your microbes and your microbiome have their own independent, individual circadian clock. Your detoxification pathways, your hormones, so melatonin, leptin, your satiating hormone, ghrelin, your hunger hormone. So when you get in sync with your circadian clock, you're going to be able to manage cravings a lot better. Cortisol has fluctuations throughout the day, which runs on its own circadian clock. Cell movement, your mitochondria, so the engines of your cells, of your entire body, have their own independent circadian clock. Your muscle performance, so when you're going to have peak performance, is more like 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So specific times throughout the day, you're going to have a bigger advantage in training. Cardiovascular performance has its own circadian clock. Your blood pressure is at highest and lowest times throughout the day. When you're most alert. So you can see, like, there's so many mechanisms and whatever in the body that run on an individual circadian clock. So let's go back to the three external cues. So you have light, food, and temperature, which are either going to turn on or off these clocks. So first off, light. So obviously we're talking about the sunlight. That's going to communicate to your body what time it is, and then the body can then synthesize that communication and respond in whatever it needs to do. An example of this is in the morning. So upon waking up, you go outside, you let the morning sun hit your skin, it's going to release your sex hormones, it's going to release dopamine, it's going to suppress melatonin, it's going to balance out cortisol, it's going to release all the neurotransmitters, your digestive enzymes, and your digestion is going to basically come online. Leptin and ghrelin are most active in the morning. So as you can see, there's a certain times throughout the day, if we give it the right signal, can be turned on, and then we can function optimally throughout the day. The second thing is food. So this comes down to food timing. So when you eat is just as important as what you eat. Let me say that again. When you eat is just as important as what you eat. This is called time-restricted feeding. You may have heard of it. It's kind of in the category of intermittent fasting. But what you're basically doing is you're compressing the window down of when you eat. For example, if you eat late at night, your body, digestion isn't turned on. Ghrelin and leptin are not, active. The microbes are not active. So that would be the wrong time to eat. And if you eat at that time, you're going to turn on basically daytime processes, putting your body back in a state of daytime when it may be 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at night, thus leading to social jet lag. Another thing is temperature. So temperature will turn on and off certain clocks. This is when we get into sleep. So when your body gets too hot or the room temperature becomes too hot, it promotes wakefulness. So light, food, and temperature are the three external cues that are going to influence your circadian clock. Why is it so important to have a in-sync circadian rhythm? When it comes to sleep, it is absolutely crucial. The first thing is you're actually going to be able to control hormonal cycle fluctuation, and especially cortisol and melatonin. So cortisol is it is an alerting and awakening hormone and tells your body it's time for action. Now cortisol is actually what gets us up in the morning. It's our stress hormone, but it's only bad when it becomes chronic. We use cortisol throughout the day. It's what keeps us alert. It's what keeps us awake. It's what gets shit done. It's what allows us to, if a predator was to come, we could flee that predator. But it's controlling that because it does fluctuate up and down throughout the day. So if you have an in-sync circadian rhythm, by getting up in the morning and seeing the sun rise and letting the sun hit your skin and telling your body that it's morning time. So from the morning, your body can continue to run in the cycles that it needs to run. You're going to be able to manage cortisol, which is massive. That is huge because most people are living in a chronic state of stress or are either spiking cortisol up and getting these big spikes of stress and really damaging the adrenal glands, which is going to put a lot of stress on the central nervous system, and really, you're going to end up in a catabolic state or breaking down state. Another hormone you're going to be able to control is melatonin. So melatonin builds up. This is your sleep signaling hormone. It builds up throughout the day. Okay, so it's building up, and then around 6, 7 p.m. it gets released throughout the body, and this is what makes you tired. And again, it's your sleep signaling hormone. It's telling you to go to sleep. Melatonin is also a master antioxidant, and it also repairs mitochondrial DNA, which is absolutely gigantic because they're the engines of your cells, and you want to be able to repair them and create more mitochondria, which melatonin is a big partner in doing that. But in terms of sleep, you can actually build up enough melatonin to release overnight. But if you wake up and you're not seeing the sun until 11 a.m. or you're looking at your phone or you're sitting under artificial light and giving your body the wrong signal, again, because light is communicating a time to your body, melatonin is going to be really messed up and your body's not going to know when to release it, what time it is, what is going on, etc., etc. Back to cortisol, you're also going to be able to decrease cortisol over nighttime. So cortisol should really come down over nighttime. and the anabolic hormones should all come up, which are going to promote sleep. So by having an in-sync circadian rhythm, you can decrease that stress, decrease that alertness, decrease that time for action, and really start to move into a sleepy, calm state that, really sets you up for sleep success. You're going to be able to control your appetite through leptin and ghrelin. So I've mentioned leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is your satiating signaling hormone. Ghrelin is your hunger signaling hormone. This is massive because if you can control when you eat, you're going to set yourself up for sleep success. Because if you're eating too late of a night, or if you're feeling hungry overnight, it's really going to disturb your mind and your body. You're going to be thinking about food. You may even snack and then spike your blood sugar, which is going to promote cortisol, and you're going to end up, really mitigating yourself from getting that optimal sleep. So ghrelin and leptin are really most active in the morning. So if you can have a big, what would be a big breakfast for you, is really going to balance out those hormones. You're going to be satiated throughout the day, and then have your last meal in the afternoon or early evening. You don't want to eat 3 hours out from bed max, a minimum. Sorry. That's ideal. So controlling those hormones massive. I already mentioned the timing of food. So when you eat is just as important as the quality of food you eat. Don't eat too late in the evening. Also timing your workouts. So a lot of us, we come back from our 9 to 5 job or whatever it is, and then we go to the gym, or we come home and we do whatever. Then we go to the gym and it may be 6, 7 p.m. That, to be honest, is way too late to be working out. We want to be working out, if we can, in the early afternoon. So around 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. is ideal. Look, 6 p.m. is okay, but no later than 7, 8, 9 p.m. You don't want to be working out around that time period, because it's going to be stimulating, and depending on how hard you work out and what you do, you're really going to promote cortisol, which is alerting, awakening, and tell your body it's time for action, which is obviously you're not going to be able to fall asleep. If you can't work out in the afternoon, morning is the next best option. So this is also going to help you sweat out cortisol, and again, really balance it out. Motivation, and many other things are going to happen when you work out in the morning. If you can't do that, what I recommend next is finding every opportunity throughout your day to do movement. So why not parking as far away in the car park at your job site as possible? Taking the stairs. What about every time you get up from your desk or whatever you do 5 squats? Every time you go to get in the car, you do 5 squats. Every time you go to the toilet, you do 5 squats. Like, I'm just saying squats, but pick whatever exercise. This is actually, studies have shown this to actually be better than working out in an isolated time period. So if you can work out, see your whole day as a workout, you're going to keep boosting that metabolism. You're really going to lose a lot of weight. You're going to get better results. You're going to increase overall happiness and mood, and that's really the best way to set yourself up for sleep success, is to see the whole day as a workout, and whenever possible, taking an opportunity to engage in movement. And yeah, so there's some big things on why it really promotes sleep success. So now, how can you sync your circadian rhythm up? So the best thing that you can do is, upon waking, I've already mentioned this a few times, is getting out of the house and into the morning sunlight. If you can, ideally, literally watching the sunrise, not looking directly at the sun. You want to look 25 degrees up from the sun, but getting outside as the sun is coming up. This is perfection if you want to sync in your circadian rhythm. Letting the sun hit as much of your skin as possible, letting it go through your eyes. Again, light goes through the eyes into the master clock, which communicates to the other clocks, which allows you to function optimally throughout the day. The next thing is to get as much sunlight as you can throughout the day. If you're someone who works in an office, if you work inside, if you're working under bright, regular light globes, you want to make sure you're getting as much full spectrum sunlight as possible, because those light globes only have a select amount of a lighting color within them, which is distorting the communication to your body. So those wavelengths of light in those light globes are telling your body that it is noon. It's 12 p.m. So you're telling your body it's 12 p.m. all the time. It could be 10 a.m. in the morning, but from that light signal, it's telling your body it's 12 p.m. It's noon. It's the middle of the day. So that is big, to get as much full spectrum sunlight as you can. Again, letting it hit as much of your skin as possible. And then it would be reducing artificial light of a nighttime. So instead of sitting under, bright white lights, watching, staring into a TV, staring into a laptop, staring into a phone, what we can do is, one, for our technology, we can put filters over them. So putting your night mode on, maybe getting a red light filter. For your computers, you can get a program called Iris, which is fantastic. But the big thing is, your light globes. So I would recommend switching to red and orange light globes with the color temperature of 2,700 kelvins or below. And you could either get salt lamps, or you can use candles. This is going to be absolutely gigantic if you do this of a nighttime. If not, really switching off half the lights 2 hours before bed in the house, and really trying to avoid all light and all technology 1 hour out from bed, and you will see dramatic results. But, if you can switch to different colored light globes and put filters on your technology, that's going to be massive, because obviously technology is going through our eyes. They have that same very bright blue light, which is signaling to your body that it's noon. So if you're sitting in bed at 10 p.m. and you're watching TV, or you're staring into your phone, or you've got your regular light globes on, or you have your lamp on, you're telling your body that it's noon, and then you wonder why you can't get to sleep. And this is where a lot of people fall into insomnia. Like, it's not really complicated. It's a simple circadian rhythm mismatch. You're telling your body that it's noon, and then wonder why you can't go to sleep. Your body's going back into daytime processes when you're laying in bed. So changing your light environment is gigantic. Watching the sunrise and getting as much sunlight as possible. Those are 3 things that you can do if you have insomnia, if you have sleep problems. Just doing those 3 things alone, I can guarantee you will have the best sleep of all time. You will fall asleep faster, and as a result, every single area of your life will increase, because there's not an area of your life that sleep doesn't impact. So try them out, and I will see you guys on the next video. Have a beautiful day.